Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel, Trading Secrets. This channel is for entertainment purposes only. For those of you who do not know, my name is Ali. I have over 20 years experience teaching accounting, economics, business and law. And through this channel I'll be providing some stock analysis and a quick update on the $1 Million Challenge. So if anybody's not aware of this is a journey of an investment of $1,000 to a return of $1 million over a period of 3 years using a strategy called compound return investing. So the objective is try to get 201 trades, each with an average return of 3.5%. It's not 201 consecutive trades, we do take into account losses. So for further details about how to join us in the challenge for as little as $9 a month, information is available in the description below. In the previous video we looked at the top 5 examples of FUDsters on social media. We also looked at tick symbol AVCT, so please refer back to the previous video for updates on all those developments. In today's video we're also going to be looking at tick symbol MMTLP, and the focus on today's video is a study on water, and also we're going to be looking at some updates with regard to FUD, and as well as that we're going to be looking at some developments with regard to one of the new significant holders of MMTLP that's just come to my attention. So I'm going to be sharing some insights from him, so stay tuned for that. And before we do that, let's have a look at what's happening in the market. So quick headline here from Yahoo Finance, and obviously I'm sure many of you are bleeding red at the moment, but the headline here is there's more upside than downside for long-term investors. So that's one of the key things to bear in mind. So I myself am primarily more of a long-term investor. So what we can see here is that stocks have tumbled. We're looking at the lowest since November 2020. The S&P 500 fell 2.9% to close the week at 3,586 points. Index is now down approximately 25.2% from its January closing high, in excess of 4,796 points. So not a great situation, but the key thing to remember is if you are a long-term investor, and then we're certainly going to be expecting a strong recovery. So let's have a look at a chart here that is showing the best and worst trading days close together. So one of the key things with regard to the S&P 500 for the period 1980 to 1921, 20 of the best trading days occurred in years with negative total returns, and also corresponded with 20 of the worst trading days. So this is the time to make money. So finally, I'm just going to share off with a little bit of a response that I provided to some of the Discord members exclusively in response to what's happening in the market. So what I have said here is I think the market is still very fragile, and currently it's in a downwards trend. It could still go down a little bit more further, but I do not think we're far from the bottom. So I think we're certainly getting very, very close to the bottom. Obviously, we all know that even Warren Buffett cannot time the market. Nobody knows the actual bottom, but from my point of view, I think the key situation in terms of what could trigger it either up or down is the delicate situation in Ukraine. We know Russia are making some serious threats. That's not good for the world, that's not good for markets, that's not good for business. But key thing to remember, overall history shows that true wealth is made by investing in times like these when the markets are down big and there is a lot of fear. So let's start by having a quick review of the previous video. There was quite a significant amount of response, both positive and negative, to the previous video, and one of the reasons for that is we know that the market is full of bears, full of bulls, and a lot of fear and a lot of doubt and a lot of shills and FUDsters out there. So that was one of the key focuses of the previous video. However, I am pleased to report a little bit of success, and that is with regard to Chunky, so also known as Jamie Vincent. So we are still engaging on Twitter, and I'm still not in the group of blocked followers. So let's have a look at the final one of the recent conversations that I had with Jamie. So what he said here is maybe Trading Secrets can chime in and say what he meant by spin out and asset sale, and then end the debate. So he was concerned and maybe I would say even confused with regard to what's going on after, and he was thinking that how can you have a spin out and asset sale at the same time. So let's have a look at my clarification here. So what I said is spin out will transfer assets into Nextbridge as a private company. This can then be sold as a separate independent organization with rights to the mineral assets, including working interest in oil and gas. There was a similar sale featured in one of my previous videos, so if we have a look at here on the screen, so if anybody wants to catch up with this example here of a previous similar example where we had a $5.2 billion private company sale of oil and gas, so check out that video here. So Jamie, I'm hoping he is a little bit enlightened here, and he said almost identical in meaning. Now I feel stupid for not recognizing it sooner. So I hope that's positive news. So thank you still very much, Jamie, for still engaging with me, although I'm not sure it will last long, but let's see. And then there's just one more example of FUD I want to follow up with, and that is with Rob Burgundy. One thing I will say about Rob, he is persistent, so give him credit for that. He is sticking to his argument, so he's still saying here on the screen, it doesn't say that in the same sentence is why. I'm very factual, and Nextbridge spin-off is for legacy Torchlight stockholders. So one of the things that I did say to Rob in the comments was that I do think, Rob, it is you versus the whole of Meta in this argument. But let's have a look at a response from Westwind, who said, holding MMTLP on record date are entitled to spin-off or dividend. I understand there will be a new record date. So that's the key thing here that Rob is not agreeing with. Can we, there is going to be a new record date. Can they set a new record date retroactive, or will it be a new S1 approval date? Question mark. Doesn't seem right. A new date could be retroactive, especially when investor relations are telling us all MMTLP will get divvy. So this is something that I clarified in the previous videos. One of the viewers did phone the investor relations and get confirmation from Meta that you buy MMTLP, you will get the benefits of the spin out in Nextbridge. So that is confirmed by Meta. So Rob still doesn't agree with that, but what I'd now like to throw into the mix is a response from one of the key shareholders of MMTLP. So if you remember in my previous video where we covered one of the second largest holder, that is going by the name of William Stewart. So in response to that video, there was quite a significant amount of FUD in response to that. I think the people who have researched that are now quite happily satisfied that that was authentic, it was genuine, and that's been confirmed in the previous video by a number of people. So refer back to the previous video for confirmation of William Stewart as an authentic holder of those significant amount of 16 million shares in MMTLP. So I'm going to introduce a new holder, and this is the third largest holder. Goes by the name of Richard, and on social media he goes by the name of RCHPHKR. So let's have a look at his recent post. Don't often post, but I'm the third largest shareholder. He's looking at 10 million shares. Just on a note, I'm not letting a single share go for less than $75, and most of my orders are 100 plus. Good luck with that shorty, considering that 4 shareholders own almost 28% of the stock. So confirmation here, we know we have Greg, we know we have Berda, we know we have William, and now we have David here. Patience is the key, everybody, like Warren Buffett said. The transfer of wealth is from the impatient to the patient. There will be an S1A2 and then an S1A3, and it will be done very, very quickly. Have a great day. So in response to Rob, I'd like to share with you a response from David, and what he said here is, all I have to say is 2 people that own 25 million shares know a few things. So certainly agree with that, although I'm not saying David is certainly not an insider. In the previous video I also stated that William is also certainly not an insider, but one of the biggest holders. So the original record date is not going to be the new record date. So again, contradicts what Rob says. That's why there are blanks on the S1A. So everybody can see that there are blanks. So Rob is saying, well, George is on my side. Well, George is not on your side, because George has a responsibility for the S1, for the S1A as a representative and the key president of Meta Materials. So why has George put a blank record date? So let's have a clarification of that. There's also blank dates here for the ex-dividend date. And one more thing that David is saying, S1 states that the shares of MMTLP will cease to trade on the new record date. So that is a message for the shorts. Have a nice day, you shorts. And the final message I'm going to share with you from David here is basically to all my followers, everybody else needs to hold past 75. This will run. Tell everyone you know and believe. You will find out quickly here in the near future what actually is going on behind the scenes when Nextbridge Hydrocarbons opens up their site, and we'll see how much oil and gas and homogeneous pay zones they have. All will be announced when approval comes through in another couple of weeks. I think he's talking about approval here with regard to what the future is after we have Nextbridge Hydrocarbons opening up as a private company. Everybody have a great day. But I think in terms of S1A approval, in my opinion, this is going to be very, very soon. What I'd now like to do is share with you some information with regard to a Far West Texas water plan, and again special thanks to William Stewart for providing the documents here. I have had a chance to go through these, so I am going to focus on water for the remaining part of the video. We have had a lot of analysis of oil and gas, so let's have a look at why water is important. So first of all, one of the reasons in one of my discussions with William with regard to water, one of the things he clarified, obviously people in oil and gas field will know that having water on the site is going to significantly reduce your costs. Obviously we need water for drilling, we need water on site, we also need a significant and sustainable supply. So let's have a look at why this is also something very positive with regard to our assets. So before we delve a little bit deeper into the water study, I'm going to share with you the message that I received from William Stewart with regard to Hudspeth County and the public records with regard to water. What he said here is this information is all public records, so you can discuss on the show. Population of Hudspeth County is only 3,287 as of the 2020 consensus. Very little pressure on water supply. So what that basically means, because the population is quite minimal, the demand for water is not going to be significant. So what this also means is the availability of supply for drilling for Nextbridge Hydrocarbons or any other company that buys it is not going to be significant. So that is very, very positive. So let's delve a little bit deeper into the water. So going into that article in terms of the water study, we can see first thing here highlighted is the Far West Texas encompasses the most arid region of the state of Texas. So this is one of the things that many people are aware of. However, what we can also see highlighted further down, in the past several years, the Barnett Shale play has become the largest natural gas play in the state of Texas. We know gas is significant. We know what's happening in Ukraine right now. We know the demand for gas, not only in the United States, but in Europe and worldwide, is going to continue to increase. Everybody will need gas. So this report is something that is obviously looking at that as well. So the other thing that I've also picked out here is with regard to hydraulic properties. So the limestones in Diablo Plateau may have the ability to transmit large amounts of water. Wells in the Bone Spring, Victoria Peak aquifer in the Del City area have produced 98,500 acres foot per year for 30 years, and with only around about 33 foot of drawdown. So that's good. So the key thing I want you to focus on here is the Diablo Plateau. So in terms of Diablo Plateau, the conclusion here, Diablo Plateau aquifers has high well yields, good water supply, and is actively recharged. So let's now tie this into how this affects us. So if we have a look here on the screen, in terms of the plateau, we'll have a look at the map, and on the screen here you'll see identified in green there on the right, Hudspeth County. That's the black arrow indicates the Diablo Plateau aquifer, so we know that is very significant for water. We have just seen good news in this water research report. And the final thing I'm going to share with you here, again, confirmation in terms of what William stated with regard to the population of Hudspeth. So from the population data and demographic study, population was 365 at the time of 2010, and county population 3,202 in the county of Sierra Blanca. So population is definitely not a concern with regard to the pressure on water. And the final thing I'd like to thank William for is this article from Streetrise Reports. So this is in response to many of the FUDsters out there that are saying there is no proof of oil and gas. So this article is a reminder. hopefully to counteract their FUD. And this is an article here from Peter Krauth, and this is confirmation here. We can see in the headline, Oil and Gas Explorer proves up excited measured oil and gas production from the Oro Grande Basin project. So again, this is public information and also positive news with regard to our assets, and confirmation also here of gas. And finally, just to finish off, a quick shout out to Weekly Watch List. If anybody would like to get access to our weekly watch list, this is always made exclusively available to Discord members prior to trading on the Monday. We know last week was a very difficult trading week, especially for the major blue chip stocks, but we did have some success in our weekly watch list. A number of stocks that we called out did quite well. So one I'd like to share with you here is ticker symbol SONX. So not really discussed on the channel, but certainly one added for the Discord members. So everybody who managed to get on this certainly did quite well. So I think according to the data, from what I remember, this was up in excess of 80% if we sold on Tuesday, but still up 16% on the week. We also called out ticker symbol ATHX, with Cassava Sciences as well. So in order to get the next weekly watch list, details are available in the description below. Thank you very much for watching. Please stay tuned.